What is going on, everyone? It is your man, Mike DeLoach, here bringing you some more content. And, I decided to do something a little different. Usually I'm in front of the camera talking to you and whatnot. But I decided to, in a way, to give you more of a visual of the city. When I'm not working, I'm kind of making moves in the city and whatnot, moving around. But one thing I decided to do is to give you a visual of the city as I go about. You know what I mean? And the thing is, at the end of the day, the city is broken down basically into quadrants. Northwest, northeast, southeast, and northeast. You know what I mean? And if you're familiar, if you're not familiar, you basically have two main interstates that travels through Albuquerque, and they call it the Big I. So do your research on the Big I, see what you come up with. But basically, you have the I-40, which runs eastbound and westbound, and then you have the 25, which runs northbound and southbound. And just a fun fact, something that someone brought to my attention real quick, is just the fact that if you don't know, now you know, but basically any interstate that ends in an even number, and like the zeros most likely, is going to run east and west. Anything that goes in the odd numbers is north and south, and that basically goes with your highways too. But basically, for all my people in California, the 5, is north and south. You know what I mean? And same thing with the 15, it's north and south. And even on the East Coast, you got 95 and 85, that's north and south. And then, where I'm from, you had I-16, which runs, east and west. But just a fun fact, but anyway, the I-40 runs east and west, and the 25 runs north and south. And so where they conjunct, they call it the Big I. But basically, the way you get your quadrants, basically anything that is north of the 25 and north of the 40 and east of the 25 is basically your northeast. Anything south of the 40 and east of the 25 is the southeast. Same thing on the west side. So anything that's west of the 25 and south of the 40, that's your southwest. And anything that's north of the 40 and west of the 25 is your northwest. So that's how you kind of get your quadrants. So it's really those 4 quadrants, when some people kind of get turned around in Albuquerque. But the thing that I realized, and what someone has told me to keep me on track, is to always look at the East Mountains, because, and that's the Sandia Mountains. So the Sandia Mountains, it always give you your direction if you get turned around. So if you look at the mountains, that shows you where your east is, and you should be able to go from there. You know what I mean? And the sun sets in the west. You know what I'm saying? But basically, that's how you kind of keep up with your orientation, here in the city, to kind of know where you are, But, one of the things that I did want to mention, again, as far as my new way of doing things, I'm going to just kind of take you around the city, and I kind of break down what section of town I'm in or what road I'm traveling down, to kind of keep you oriented as I'm driving, you know what I mean? And basically that's what I'm going to be doing, just driving around in some places, and just to kind of give you a visual of the traffic too, and how traffic can be. Some days you may catch me in rush hour traffic, some days it may not be, and you can see where it's smooth sailing versus to where those certain portions where you have those bottlenecks as well. But alongside of that, I will also, kind of, on one of my previous videos, I talked about New Mexico being shaped like a bowl, so on the east, farthest east by the mountains, the city sits a little higher, and on the furthest west side of the city, on like 98th, it sits a little higher, where you can see the east side of the city. And when you on like Tramway, you can see the west side of the city. And then you also have what they call the valley, you know what I mean? So I take you through the South Valley as well as the North Valley as well. and basically along the valley is what runs basically like parallel to the historic Rio Grande or Rio Grande river. You know what I mean? And that's also an area where you'll see like a lot of trees in one spot too that runs along the Rio Grande. You know what I mean? But again, it's just something. My way of showing you a different visual of the city again as I go about my day to day, and kind of show you how the quadrants, and even within each quadrant how the development could be different in certain areas as well, whereas some may have more of that modern development to whereas some areas may see more of slummed out, if you would. You know what I mean? And then you have those in between places where it's decent, or they trying to develop into that more modern appeal, but it kind of shows you where the money at in certain places. You know what I mean? And not to say there's not money in the slummed out places. You know what I mean? So don't get me wrong with that. But again, I hope you enjoy. So and as as I'm cruising through the city, it's just gonna be some music in the background as you get those visuals. And the thing is, you never know what you see on the road. So there's some things that I've seen on the road that I wish I could have had on camera, but whatever I do got, that's what you get in. And hopefully, again, you enjoy it. And you may see some things like, wow, the things you see on the road. But anyway, man, it's your man Mike DeLoach. Hope you enjoy the content, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And once you subscribe, also be sure to go in your notifications with the subscribe, and make sure that you select all notifications, because I know sometimes those notifications come in delayed. I drop a video a week ago and you just not getting the notification. So make sure you hit all notifications so you'll be sure to get notified whenever we do drop the video on the date that it drops versus a week later. And also like the videos, man, so that we can get this thing to circulate in this YouTube world. Leave some comments as well, let me know what you think. Also share it with some people, you know what I'm saying, and y'all converse over the videos as well, you know what I'm saying, and let me know what you think, you know what I'm saying. But that's all I got for now, and as you know, until next time, we'll holla back.